Welcome to episode 48 of Enter the Mind podcast, the most real talk, no nonsense podcast on the empowering of the mind. This week, we'll be talking about energy boundaries. Before we get to that, Kyra, how's it going?
It's going well on my end. It's sunny today, which is exciting because I love that vitamin D. It's been super rainy over here in Florida. I'm talking like for a month and a half now. It's like rain and gray skies every day. So this nice.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. We could use that rain over here in California. Hasn't rained in a while, but no, I'm good. I've been like looking into hypnosis and what's called auto suggestion. So really just realizing that we're always like in a trance that we don't know about. So I've been playing around with that. So probably some good stuff to come in the next few weeks, but yeah, I'll bring it to the show for sure. whatever I learn. In regards to the topic for today, so energy boundaries. So give us a bit of context about where this idea came from of discussing this, and we'll go from there.
Okay, so I don't work for other people. I just don't do it. I've never done a 9-to-5. I think I've had one 9-to-5 in my whole life. And that was when I was, I think, 17 years old. And I'm 23 now, and I got a little job just to get a little job, you know. And I just felt like in the beginning it was all nice. And I thought that, you know, I'd be able to keep my energy to myself and really, instead of being influenced by the energy, more influence the energy. So that way I'm not being diminished in any way, mentally or energetically. And lately it's just been getting really bad. I feel like everybody at work feeds off of my energy, and it's mentally draining. I'll be going into work so happy, saying good morning to everybody in an accent. In an accent, top of the fucking morning, mate. How's it going? It's a great fucking day, yes. You know, and then I just feel like within 15-30 minutes of me being in work, when I was genuinely in a good mood, all of a sudden I'm drained. All of a sudden I'm drained and I'm annoyed and I want to go home. And I'm like, why do I feel like this? And I feel like it's because everybody at work is feeding off of my energy, whether they know it or they don't know it. It might be something natural to them, but all I know is that I feel like the more that I shut them out, the more that they respect my energy, and the more that they understand, okay, I can't feed off of her energy. Okay, I can't do this to her energy. Okay, now they start to see who I really am, instead of because it's like I come in all happy and yes, that's who I really am. But then after a while I get annoyed because I'm at work and it becomes not who I really am. And then who I really am becomes somebody who's shutting out their energy. So that way I can keep my energy. So that way I can feel my energy rising and my energy being good in my body. And yeah, so I just feel like I wanted to talk about shutting other people's energy out and having your force of energy so strong and so grounded that these people know not to come with you with any fucking bullshit. If they want to talk to you, your energy will say, this better be something goddamn good. So, yeah.
Okay. I can relate to that.
Okay.
I've worked 9-to-5 pretty much my whole adult life. So, but I can say that what you described is really what I've experienced, I think. But before I go into any of my own stories, if you could kind of paint a picture of when you do shut out their energy, or I think that's how you put it, like what does that look like? Because it sounds like you you're happier or you get better results when you do that, right? What does that look like?
So to other people, it may look like I'm angry because I'm usually a really happy person. But in reality, so like instead, you know, maybe at work, you know, I'm standing like this, right? And this is like, I'm happy and I'm like, hi, good morning. What would you like to eat? Right. And that's me opening my fucking energy to the whole goddamn place. Come on in, I say, you know, and then I get tired. Right. So then when I realize that I'm giving away too much of my energy and I come back down into my own energy, it could look something like this, you know, like, hi, what would you like to eat? Okay, great. Here's your ticket. You know, it's like, I may not be happy, but I'm also not being rude to you. I'm not being rude to anybody. I'm calm. I'm grounded. I'm not taking anybody's shit. And to me, I have met people like this where, you know, they're so happy one day and then the next day they're kind of just like weirdly like unemotional, I guess. And I go, hey, like, what's wrong? You know, and they look me dead in the eyes. They're like, actually, nothing's wrong. Like, I'm actually in a really good mood. And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, so I can get how it can seem weird to other people. But if you practice this enough, then people will begin to understand your energy boundaries. People will begin to understand not to come with you with any bullshit. People will understand not to sit in front of your face and yabber gabber all fucking day because your energy won't take it. Your energy literally does not take it. And that's, I guess, the best that I can explain it.
Yeah, it's making me think of various scenarios now that I've faced over the years.
Tell them.
But they're starting to come to the surface. I can tell they're not completely at the surface yet, but they're on their way. It's kind of counterintuitive though, because you would think that if you go into work in a very positive mood and you're kind of just throwing your positive energy all over, you would think that it would have a positive result, right? You would think like, oh, the environment's going to be like lifted up. Well, actually, you said that they do get lifted up, right? But you feel drained, right?
Yes, I actually didn't say that in the video. I said that before. But yeah, I'll just explain to them really quick so they know what you're referring to. Like, I feel like I'll go in super, super happy and nobody else is like really super, super happy or up. But then it's like the moment that I come down, everybody's chilling and happy and at ease. And I'm like, I don't get this. Are you stealing my energy? I don't get it. So that's what Robert was referring to.
Okay, I gotcha. Man, this is good stuff. This is fascinating to me because this is the whole, I mean, to me, this is real psychology. You know, this is not something you would hear about in a university classroom, you know?
Yes.
But this is the whole reason I went into psychology. You know, I wanted to understand psychology at this level, right? The real life scenarios, the real life stuff. And it's making me think of like times at work where I was like very effective and people, I guess, I don't want to say that they were afraid of me because I don't think that they were afraid of me, but maybe afraid in the sense of they respected me and they were afraid of wasting my time. That would be, I've had coworkers say that they like, you know, that they were like afraid of wasting my time or something, but they because they saw that when I showed up to work, I worked and I didn't sit around. I didn't go on Facebook. I didn't go on like, you know, I didn't dilly daddle. Like I was like I was on a mission. I showed up, got my stuff done, boom, boom, boom. Like, so they're not going to come over and just like, you know, say, oh, hey, you know, let me tell you about this thing on the weekend and blah, 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 you know. But it came from just sort of like where I funneled my energy. So, you know, showing up to work, did I ever show up and just be really positive? I think it's true that like if I ever gave my energy too freely, it always was, I think it always ended up draining me, or led to feelings of being drained. I would say that's always the case, even if it's not necessarily happiness that I'm spreading through that energy. Even if it's something like when someone goes on a rant, you know, like if someone ever gets riled up, right? Like this even happened the other day, right? I was talking to somebody at work, and I presented this scenario because it was a task that I had to do, and then there were a few ideas that I had, and so I was just there to discuss the solutions. But this scenario it involved this other third party, that there's this huge history with this third party. And so when I presented it to get this person's opinion, they got so riled up because it involved this third party, with whom they have a history, right? So then they start going on this rant and everything, and they're like, and then they said, Robert, man, look what you did to me now, you know, because, you know, they realized at the end of their, you know, 3 or 4 minute rant or whatever, they realized that I just like totally hijacked their emotional system, you know, not intentionally. I was just trying to get their opinion on this scenario, but they had a huge energy leak. It's almost like I took a hammer and a chisel to one of their energy pipes, and I just went boom, 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 and I knocked a big hole in it. And when that hole was created, boom, their energy started pouring out, and they're like, oh, you know, oh, you're talking about so-and-so? Oh yeah, let me tell you what happened last year with them, and blah, blah, and it's boom, energy leak, boom, 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 right? But after that energy leak, they felt like crap. And they were like, oh man, they're like, Robert, why'd you let me go on that rant, you know? And they're like, I know you were just asking a simple question, but I turned it into this big thing. And to me, like, I'm analyzing the flow of that energy, and I think that's what happened, right? I think it was too much of an outflow of energy. Like, what do you think?
I definitely can relate to that, and I can definitely get with that. Like, I definitely understand it, because I feel like, you know, the people at my job, they're really great people. They're so kind, they're funny, and something that they've taught me is, I guess, how to like connect a little bit better with people, because like I'm with these people all the time, almost every single day. I have to, you know, kind of connect with them. They're people, you know. I'm not going to go to work and not talk to them, you know. But I think that, you know, the energy leak that they gave me is like, you know, they're so together, and they're so kind of like as a little pack that kind of, you know, talk with each other and are cool with each other and everything. And they took that chisel and did that to me. And then that's when my energy leak came out, and all of that energy was leaving my body. And I'm like, fuck this. Oh God, you people are amazing. I really love you, but seriously, fuck this. I don't want to be in your group all the time. Like, I just don't, you know? And I think that that's where making sure that you're shutting out your energy, because people will put labels on you the more that you do something. The more that they see you physically practice something in front of them, they're going to label you as that person, right? So maybe somebody, this is going for anybody right now. You know, you walk into a bank, you walk into a supermarket, you go to work, you know, but I feel like this is really good for people who have a 9 to 5 right now. So you go into work, you know, and every single day you're happy, every single day you're happy, every single day you're letting them chisel in their energy, and you're letting all that energy leave your body, and then you're left with nothing. And they're going to see you as that. They're going to see you as that person. They're going to expect you to leak your energy. They're going to expect that energy to leak out all onto them. And then next thing you know, you come in one day and you don't give any energy. You're like, I'm not giving you my energy today. And they're like, why aren't you giving me, what's wrong with you today? I need your energy. Why aren't you giving me your energy? Right? But then it's like, the more that you show up and I guess fluctuate between giving that energy and not giving that energy, once again, they will label you and they will see that, okay, well, sometimes this person does not want to give their energy out. And I totally get that. Right. And sometimes this person looks angry, but they're not. They're actually just pretty happy, you know, but nobody is going to know that unless you tell them. Nobody is going to know that you're in a good mood or a bad mood unless you tell them. Right. So it's like your energy could be leaking all over the workplace, you know, and somebody comes up and taps you on the shoulder. And next thing you know, you turn around and you're like, fuck are you tapping my shoulder for? Hams? Like, this ain't no. My energy is not fucking available right now. It's not available. Right. But then, you know, if you just turn to them and say, I'm really not in the mood today, it would be best if you didn't talk to me. And really make sure that they understand that. And the next thing you know, you have your energy back because they're not coming around and they're not like, whose energy can I get today? Literally, I feel like that's what I imagine them as, is kind of like leaping around, like, whose energy, you know? And I'm not saying this in a bad way because we all feed off of each other's energy, etc. You know, but it's like, don't you know when you're feeding off of somebody's energy a little bit too much?
Yeah. This is getting me to think about the energy dynamics, or the energy of interpersonal dynamics, you know, between people. And yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I'm thinking about a lot of situations where, like, assume there's like a project going on, right? And then someone comes to you and then they're like, oh, can you help me with this thing? This is the project, or this is what I need to do. Can you help? Can you please fill this out or help with this or whatever, right? And you, if you respond with, like, because I've done this before, it's like, oh, well, I can do this for you. Like, yeah, well, while I'm at it, I can also do this, and blah, blah, blah. And it's just this excess, you know, it's too much. It's too much compared to, like, what the person's asking for. Are you having a light bulb moment?
I'm having a big light bulb moment. Yes. I think that that's an amazing way to put it, you know? So it's like, it's 100% true. And I feel like I've done this and I've been in both positions. Like when somebody's like, oh, I can add this for you too. And then I'm like, my God, I love this. But, you know, at the same time, I'm like, are you sure? Is it too much for you? Because I don't want that to happen, you know? So like, I let them know, like, hey, is this too much for you? Because if it is, you know, let me know. But I feel like as humans, we all want to give. But I also feel like that in, you know, a lot of situations, it's like with friends, you know, sometimes my best friend will lend me money if I need it, right? And does she make a habit of it? Absolutely not. And she will let me know. She will let me the fuck know with her energy, and she will say, no, this is way too much. Don't ask me again. And I'm like, okay, you know, I got you. Okay, got that, right? You know, and then it's like, so in vice versa, in my position, when I had, you know, this best friend that I would pay for all the time, you know, I literally was like, nah, you don't even need to get a job. I got you. You know, I just, you know, and that was giving way too much than the position asked for. So that was a big light bulb moment. That was really good for our listeners, I think, and for me.
Yeah, and I wonder if it gets to this concept that I learned from the reality Transurfing book called Excess Potential. Like, he talks a lot about excess potential, meaning an excess of energy or too much energy for the situation or something like that.
You mentioned that before.
Yeah. And so I'm starting to view things from that perspective, because I mean, it happens in nature too. Like when you have, the reason that we have lightning is that a cloud has all of these negative charges, all these electrons in the cloud, and then it builds up so much that it needs to discharge to Earth, right? The electrical force, it's too much. It's an excess potential of energy, right? And it needs to discharge to Earth, and when it does, that's a lightning bolt. And then once the electricity gets to Earth, once it's grounded, then it can like dissipate. And it's interesting, so I wrote down that you used the word grounded earlier, that if you don't give away your energy, you feel calm and grounded. And so I think that, at least when I observe these things, it's like the human mind is, to me, is like, it's got to follow laws, just like electricity, just like the laws of electricity. And so the opposite of like having excess potential is being grounded, right? But when you're not grounded, and you allow this buildup of energy to accumulate, and then or let's say you give away this like huge excess of energy. I think that can also lead to a vacuum, like an energy vacuum, maybe, where right after you've given away so much energy, if that's not replenished by the other person, then it leads to a vacuum. And then that doesn't feel good, because that's like it feels like something's missing, right? Like an energy void or something. I wonder if it would be different. Like, have you ever, maybe not with a coworker, but maybe with one of your friends, where you bring that positive outflow of energy, but it's reciprocated so much from the other person that it doesn't lead you to feeling drained? Does that ever happen?
Yes. Yeah, I definitely have a good amount of friends like that. And yeah, I definitely
So it's not exactly the fact that you have this outflow of energy. That's not exactly a problem.
Who you're doing it to.
Right? It's like, it's that those coworkers or whoever were like energy pickpockets, where they just like, they didn't reciprocate what you were giving out.
I love this so much, Robert, because I literally got an insight from this yesterday. And so yeah, I'm such a happy person. That's who I've always been, and I'm very nice to people on the streets, but I feel like maybe that's not who I want to be anymore. Like I definitely can, but I feel like that's that energy leak. I am wasting all of my energy on trying to bring my energy to this work, trying to bring up the spirits of the people that I work with, trying to bring up the spirits of people that come in, trying to bring up the spirits of people, that I meet on the streets, like my new friends, trying to bring their spirits up, right? But why am I wasting all of this energy, right? It's like you're wasting your energy on the wrong things. You're wasting your focus and your energy on trying to make everybody else happy and feel good about that. But then when it actually comes to things that matter to you, that you really care about, you have no more energy, because you have been wasting it on the wrong things. You have had an energy leak in the wrong things. Now, the people who you give your energy to that reciprocate it, that's great energy. That's great. That's a win-win for both you and the person. But when you're just giving your energy away willy-nilly, not expecting really much back, bitch, you're going to be so tired. Trust me, because you are talking to me, somebody who has been, focused on trying to bring the spirits up of everybody and spread light and love, because that's what I thought I was put on this earth for. But I personally think that I'm spreading more light and love when I shut people the fuck out. Like when I show people like that you don't have to, to be nice to everybody is not a good influence. To be nice to everybody is not a good role model. To keep your energy in the places that you want it flowing into is a good influence, is a good role model. Showing people how you would like to be treated, that's a good influence. That's a good role model, you know, but spreading this energy willy-nilly and giving out all of this free love, expecting nothing in return. Personally, I don't even think that's unconditional love in my opinion. It's like, you said something in the beginning of the podcast, right? So it's like, I go into work, or like say somebody goes into work or just anywhere, you know, and they happen to be all happy and everything, but it's not entirely positive energy because you're giving away too much of yourself. So it's not going to be positive energy. It's going to be a little bit more negative. And if you were to, I guess, morph that energy into something that you're kind of a little bit more enclosed and really protected of your energy, then that is going to come off as more positive energy than it ever would with you just going around, running around, spreading positive energy. This person who seems to be kind of a bitch or not entirely nice, they have better energy than me because I'm over here fucking spreading my energy like a willy-nilly. So I hope that I touched, you know, that subject really well.
Yeah, well, I think it brings to the surface the point that it's about what your energy patterns bring out from other people, right? Because if you give too much, by the law of like energy balance, they might not, or if they don't reciprocate, then I don't know. It reminds me of like throughout my life, I've met a few rich kids here and there, like really wealthy, where like the parents just had oodles of money. And some of these kids, I mean, it all depends on the parenting, but some of the kids are so lazy because their parents never made them work for anything. It was like anytime they wanted the new PlayStation 4 or whatever, like they just got it, you know, like they didn't have to go mow lawns. They didn't have to go, you know, deliver newspapers to earn a few extra dollars. So like it was just given to them, right? And by the time they were in their 20s, they were the laziest adults you've ever seen. And it's this weird thing about like they were just given, and they never had to give themselves. You see? You're making a face. What?
I love it.
Huh?
I love that so much.
So to sum up in one sentence, like what I'm taking away here is this seems to be a matter, today's topic seems to be a matter of the laws of energy exchange, right? And so anytime we're not getting the positive result, there must be a violation of the laws of energy exchange. And I think that's what's going on here. But I mean, amazing example from you. So thank you. And I'll be thinking and analyzing this all day today, I'm sure. So with that, I pass it to you to close this out.
I'm obsessed with what you just said, Robert, literally obsessed, because I feel like that is the way, like as much as this old friend that I used to have, as much as she ruined my fucking life and stole all my fucking money, I'm so appreciative for that time that I had this, because she introduced me to spirituality and she made me feel like it was okay to, you know, think and wonder and embody these things. And when she would stop giving me, you know, the awesome energy, I wouldn't have any of it myself because I didn't know how to entirely cultivate it yet by myself. So when she stopped and, you know, I was pissed off, you know, and I started to get pissed off about everything else that she did to me, I left her, you know, and I don't talk to that girl anymore because, you know, you pretty much ruined my fucking life and also gave me a new life, you know. So it's I wouldn't say she gave me a new light, but I definitely cultivated it from all the pain that I endured while being her friend. And I feel like if you're constantly always the one that is constantly feeding good energy and constantly giving, those people, they're not going to know how to cultivate it themselves. They're going to turn to you. They're going to look for you to get it from you because they don't know how to cultivate it themselves. And when you stop giving, they start wondering, and they start going back to those times that they gave it to you and how they felt, and they start wondering how they can cultivate it on their own. And that is how you are helping people. You are not helping people by giving all the time. You are helping people by respecting your energetic boundaries. And that is what I will end with today. And yes, I'm sure that I will have many insights about this throughout the week as well. Yeah, so today was a good podcast.
Yeah, definitely. Always unexpected insights come out of these discussions. So always a pleasure. And if you're watching or listening, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and give us some feedback. Let us know what topics you'd like to hear about in future episodes. And we'll see you soon.